somebody who thinks that learning is a process, and of course learning is never ending. She has done so much and she yet wants to do so much more. Who is she? You will know. Hi, I'm Arthi Karthik and welcome to you on today's episode of How's the Josh. So, who is this multifaceted lady? A proud Fauji wife. She is none other than Mrs. Kacker. Thank you, Mrs. Kacker. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Arthi. Thank you so much.
So, Ms. Kacker, you're looking lovely.
Thank you. So are you.
Thank you. So, talking about journeys, you've had such a different journey where you started with something and I would not say that you've ended up with something else, because for you learning is continuous. So, what is that you're doing latest?
Arthi, if I tell you latest, in fact, my boys laugh at me. They always say, never ask my mother about what she's doing. Then you are gone for 2 hours together, okay. And she'll give you so much of A4 size sheets that you would be only. So, I am associated with an NGO which is called Samadhan Abhiyan, which works on protection of children from sexual abuse. I'm also a chairperson schools with President AWA, with Central AWA.
Wow.
And Delhi NCR APSs and APPSs.
Okay.
So that is my fraternity, because I've been
You've
teacher.
Been an educationist
yes,
as well.
For the longest time that
longest
I know.
Time. Last
Yes.
you were with Vasant Valley.
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now you are truly into all the other things that you're passionate about.
Yes.
Inclusive of teaching.
Yes. So I'm a pan-India storyteller. I'm a trainer, a teacher facilitator.
So what's a teacher facilitator, Ms. Kacker?
So basically teachers, and we train them into how to have a stimulating classroom, okay. And align them to the new educational policy, okay. NEP 2020, Achha. ECCE, and the latest what is happening. And to my best of knowledge, on more than 50 years on this planet, the kind of work, Arthi, which is happening in education is
immense.
Absolutely immense and fantastic. Meaning the kind of minds that have been put together to design something new, moving from the rote to the experiential learning, is something absolutely extraordinary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I think you are also considering yourself lucky to be right now joined in this kind of an atmosphere where there are great minds
absolutely.
Thinking about how to make things better.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely grateful to God and the organization, Army Wives Welfare Association, that I belong to, and Army as a fraternity, wherein we get so many opportunities to do what we like, what we aspire for, and how we collaborate. Like you are aware that now in Facebook we have this platform of
oh yes,
Olive Dream Weavers.
Olive Dream Weavers, yes.
Which is you see, recently we had a Lit Fest last year.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that we had so many authors, storytellers, journalists like you who were Army wives. Meaning it was a discovery
so
for me.
Talent.
Yes.
In fact, somebody I was talking to, Richa Raval. So she's one of the people who are the main admins and who does a lot of things for this group, the Facebook group. And she tells me that the intent was to create a platform, a common platform where everybody gets together and everybody gets to know at least on the first hand that okay, there's such a person who's fantastic at doing this and she's an entrepreneur, and even if that person is not an entrepreneur, she's doing something else which is passion driven, but can become a business anytime that she wants.
Right.
So I think that's such a great thing, and
yes.
It's such a welcome change,
yes.
Where all the spouses are welcoming each other and getting to know and encouraging each other. This is such a good thing which is happening.
And the AWA website has been redesigned, and look at the kind of
I'm a registered.
Yes, so am I.
Registered on that side.
Yeah, look at the kind of talent that we have.
The
extraordinary.
Talent pool is extremely
yes.
good. Ms. Kacker, talking about another journey of being a wife, newlywed, to now that you are, you put in so many. I would not say years, but I would say companionship with your husband. How has it been? from there
it's
till now?
beautiful. And probably I got married when I was 22 and a half, and my husband was 25.
Okay.
And as a young captain, and I loved him then, but now we are inseparable, meaning I love him 100 times more than what I loved him earlier.
How
So
cute.
though we fight and we do, but we can't do without each other. So it's the journey has been really, really absolutely beautiful together.
And what has been the most remarkable thing that you feel as an insider, as a Fauji wife, about army?
The opportunities that we get, and the hand holding that we get, and the mentorship that we get is beautiful. Meaning, at my age, probably I will learn so much from Arthi. You're sitting here, and So what I'm saying is, we reach out to each other still. We say that in the digital age and internet has come, and probably older bonds were special, and we could reach out to our neighbors, but we still, as army wives, we do make an attempt to kind of bond, reach out to each other,
Yes.
and learn from each other. So
And
that's our
something
strength.
which is never ending, and I think that will continue.
Yes, that band of sisters
Yes,
thing will
band of
also.
sisters, yeah,
Yes.
just like band of brothers.
Yes.
That's such a beautiful term. So, talking about terminologies, being a trainer,
Yeah.
how has it been? How different is being a trainer from being an educationist?
So I was very driven, even as a class teacher, as a teacher while I was in school. I just wanted to make my classroom very interesting, an interesting space where kids could think. I remember as a class teacher, every day my last slot used to be an alien story who would come from Mars,
Okay.
and through that story I would weave in good habits for my children, or things that they should not be doing, or using circle time as a tool to talk about bullying, safe touch, things like that. So as a trainer, only my area of influence and interest has become larger and
Yes,
bigger.
yes.
Now
And your
my
audience
reach is
has grown
yes,
in terms of
yes,
the age of,
Yes.
when you talk about number.
yeah. Now I'm in touch with teachers who are pan India, and I can tell them through my experiences that what went right for me and what went wrong, so that they don't make that mistakes that I have made as a teacher.
You are currently working with principals and teachers and parents and kids.
Yes.
I mean, these are the four main lots.
Stakeholders.
Exactly.
Yes.
Who come into the most playing the prominent role, because इनसे ही school चलता है. So how is it like you are all the four of them you are in constant touch with separately or together, or do all of them come under one umbrella?
Yes.
To you?
So when we conduct workshops, when I conduct workshops in person or online, sometimes they are for principals only. Sometimes principals and teachers are there together. Sometimes specially for parents, and sometimes only for children. So these are the special key stakeholders in a school ecosystem that needs to be spoken to, touched, discussed. And now national education policy says that there has to be continuous professional training for the teachers. Certain hours have to be clocked. So it is not that you do a workshop on your whims and fancies, but now it is mandatory on the paper that they should be taking, undergoing so many hours of training.
To impart what NEP wants to be
NEP,
in terms of holistic education.
or what are the challenges that they are facing in the classroom, to discuss that, to create a platform for them wherein they can vent out, they can speak that these are the things that I can't handle or I need help with, so that we have robust discussions wherein teachers can discuss that, and share our best
There's
practices.
something like an open mic where anybody can
Yes.
come
And share our best
discuss.
practices.
Yes.
Probably Arthi as a teacher would have done something in a classroom which I am looking for. So
Yes,
when we discuss, your best practice could help me to do that in my classroom.
Yes. And how is it that you have extended, your area of interest to an NGO as well? How do you get time for that? And what is this NGO?
So my journey for that, Arthi, started many years back, probably 2014, 2015, while my husband was posted in Delhi. I started using my storytelling as a tool for putting smiles and well-being of children who were fighting cancer in R&R hospital. So they have a beautiful playroom wherein I used to go weekly, and I used to share stories with children. thereafter I realized that stories could be used for various things, for well-being, for
Yes,
for using it as a tool for the pedagogical structure in the classroom, for so many things. So I understood that there is so much that you can do through a story. There's so much that you could deliver, and that is exactly what the new education policy is saying, that use drama, role play, storytelling, art to impart the core content in your classroom, to deliver the core content in your classroom. So
the best way I think of education is through storytelling, because हमारी जिंदगी every day is a story. हर
Right.
चीज़ एक story ही होती है. When a mother asks the child आज स्कूल में क्या किया, whatever the child says is a story, कि आज मम्मा ऐसा हुआ ऐसा हुआ. And I feel that अगर story से पढ़ाया जाए तो कभी कोई बच्चा नहीं भूलेगा.
yes, because
I think that's the best
when you are
way.
teaching through a story, like I've during pandemic, I worked with so many special programs in APPSs. We did a Ganga journey, wherein I became Ganga myself, when the kids from APSs ranging from grade 4 to grade 9 and the teachers from APPSs and APSs, we all collaborated, wherein we discussed why Ganges is such an important thing in our country, why when Ganges from Himalayas, it comes down to Kanpur and to Allahabad, what happens to it. In fact, we got the best in the industry to speak to children, how our rivers are becoming anemic. Then we worked on Ethics Bowl Rolling Trophy, which we are going to repeat now in the hour week, where Pan India we are going, wherein all the commands are going to we were first in the country. The APSs were Delhi NCR were first in the country to do Ethics Bowl Rolling Trophy, wherein we said that we don't want a regular debate. We want to teach our children compassion and respect in the classroom.
The emotion has to be
Yes.
talked about.
So wherein we teach our children to articulate, to speak, to understand that if today they see a road accident, so is it ethical to leave the person dying, or should we think twice before leaving that person alone? So we gave the children case studies just 24 hours prior, and they had to think that in this case study, how will we do research, how will we articulate, how will we speak about the current topic or the case study. We took topics like euthanasia and so many others which are controversial, and yet we taught them how it is to be done. And we are taking this up this year also in 2020 in the month of August.
And I think it should be spoken every year, because it is such an important topic. And I think that kids have, because technology, digital, everything is very good, but I think that बच्चे कहीं भूल गए हैं अपने आप को express करना और feelings share करना. They just shut themselves. I think this thing will actually give them an insight into their own self.
Yes.
कि ऐसा हुआ तो आप क्या करेंगे.
बिल्कुल.
That's thought provoking.
Yes.
And coming back to your married life, I want you to give a message to your husband. You just said that.
Yes.
Every day your admiration for him just grows more.
Oh yes. So my husband is almost 3 years older to me, and people look for mentors and inspiration outside. But I sleep with my inspiration.
Wow.
This guy gets up at 4:30 in the morning, he reads, he goes for his cycling, jogging, and he's so driven, meaning, I always ask him that what drives you? So I know that he drives me, but what is his driver? So he says that I just work for my self-respect, and that is all. He says, it's almost 40 years that he's a boarder, so from Dehradun. So he says it's almost 40 years that I've been wearing my uniform, and it has become my second skin. So I can't do without it. So so what bigger motivation and inspiration do you look for? I sleep with one. He's my inspiration.
Yeah, I think all Fauji wives would agree to it.
Yes. Yes.
That love just grows deeper.
And it's not that we don't argue or we don't fight or we don't have differences. I am also very strongly opinionated, and we do argue and we do have fights and we do have our own challenges. But that grip, that hand, his hand and my hand is so strong that we've got so used to it.
So cute. And what about your kids, Ms. Kacker?
Oh, we are proud parents to 2 boys. My older one is in Ireland right now. He's been placed with Amazon UK, so he's moving there, and we look forward to spending some time with him. And our younger one is a lawyer. He's based out of Noida, so he's also doing really well. So I'm a proud mother.
And as a storyteller, you decided that you have to take it more seriously, and you've done a course. And so, what was this course about?
So this course, my storytelling journey started when I was in my 30s.
Okay.
Because when I look back, in fact, last Ava magazine, I wrote a poem called "My Children Brought Me Up."
Okay.
So when I look back as a mother, I think the best thing that I would have done to my kids is telling them stories. And and I would tell them any kind of fable, any kind of story which came my way, but I realized that let me write my own stories. So one night I remember when I was reading them a story, they said, "Are you going to listen to this fairy tale or Monica fairy tales?" And so my son said, "Let's try Monica fairy tales." So that was probably my start point as a storyteller. My children believed in me that I could tell a story. And then I started telling tales, and you know how Indians, we all are designed and wired to tell stories.
Yes.
So my storytelling journey started there, and I started observing people. I started feeling the stories. Now I am quite a footloose variety, and I am a talking suitcase, and stories have become my essence.
That's your FB name?
Yes,
Okay.
Monzi Roads, constantly looking for tales, and so my stories are my daily diet now, Arthi. So can't do without stories, and I love having a cup of coffee with a stranger, listening to their stories, telling my story. Because you don't have your guards up when you are telling a story. You know that nobody is judging you while you are telling a story. You are in a different space.
Story,
yes. So it's been a beautiful
So
journey.
are you going to be publishing your work soon of your stories?
That's my last black gate that I see. So I am going to eventually write short stories. That's my I aspire to do that, but when I really don't know.
You must have written so much by now.
Scribbled in all kind of diaries that I know. They are lying in my diaries, but I have to just put them back.
You must publish Monica's diary.
That's nice. Thank you.
I hope you publish your work soon.
Thank you so much.
And I wanted to ask you how or what would you tell the Fauji wives, newlyweds today? They're all aspirational, and they feel that maybe when they get married to an army officer, थोड़े से दरवाजे बंद हो जाते हैं, 2 खिड़कियाँ खुलती हैं, बट उनका जो एक मेन वो होता है, जो the tandem at which they are working, it generally shifts, So what do you think about that?
Arthi, very, very nice question. I why I like Gita, because everybody said that Sri Krishna was answering all Arjuna's answers, but Arjun was asking smart questions, and you are the Arjun here. Not that I am Krishna, so that's meaning I don't say that, but you are asking questions like Arjun. So what it's the question, the need of the hour, what you have asked. So we talk about work-life balance, right? Similarly, in armed forces, for an army wife, you must understand what is your strength, what is your area of interest. Collaborate with your tribe. What are the kind, very recently we have a club called Book Sisters, wherein all the people who are literature enthusiasts or who are authors or storytellers, we found our own group. So collaborate with your tribe. There are certain doors which are going to be shut, of course, yes, you are right, but there are many more windows and doors which will open up. So put your creative mind and ask yourself, in this space, being in the company of your husband and the other versatile women that you are with, what else can you do with your life? Can you work from home? Can you divert from your main core profession and look at something else? Because I believe, Arthi, wherever one door closed for me, 5-6 new beautiful doors opened for me. There will be challenges.
That's because maybe also, Ms. Kacker, that you kept an open mind and you were in acceptance of what was coming your way. And when we are in acceptance of what is coming our way, then I think we attract more positivity.
Yes.
And
And Arthi, life is not a bed of roses. We should understand this. You will find challenges, but wherever there is a challenge, that is your aha moment. And I can tell you this with my experience. Whenever there was a challenge in my life, it just made me understand that something more beautiful is going to happen next. So
true.
Yes.
So true. So what is it that you're going to be you're planning to do next? You know.
So when I got married to a captain, my dream was only to have 2 children, a biological mother to 2 children.
Very cute, newly married.
Yeah, newly married dream. And now is at some point of time, I have this dream of sponsoring 20 children. I don't know how will I do it, and when will I do it, I don't know.
The intent will give you
but
direction.
The seed has been sown.
Yeah, the intent will give you direction.
Yes.
And I think if all of us could even, try and sponsor one child, things would be so much better around us.
And in our environment, in our area of influence, if we can do our bit, we don't have to do big things in life. Only in our area of influence, if we can create a change, I think it's good enough.
Yeah, and talking about change and kids, you're also working with kids who've been sexually abused. So, how do you handle? I mean, that is such a sensitive
yes,
thing.
It's very new that I'm with this organization, and I'm still learning. And right now, I am getting myself emotionally ready to deal with such kids, because they are the part of our society. They are around us, and people who abuse them are like normal people like you and me.
Yes, yes.
So I am right now accepting, understanding their stories, understanding the emotion behind it, and getting myself ready. That is step 1 for me. And slowly I'm going to walk this road.
Does it also happen that you talk to their parents as well to?
Yes. So we under Samadhan Abhiyan, we have a proper counseling which happens, and we keep their identity to be very, very classified. We have this app called Meri Awaaz, in which they can register themselves without disclosing their identity. So
they can just write the incident that has happened, and then you connect with
and
them.
Then,
That's called Meri Awaaz.
Yes.
Okay, that's so beautiful.
Yes.
Still talking about storytelling, can we just have a short snippet of how you conduct, or what kind of stories do you tell? I mean, maybe a minute.
Okay, so I wasn't ready for it, but still, So.
And anything that comes to your mind.
Yeah, she moved very quietly. She moved so quietly, so that nobody is able to see her, judge her. But there was this big brown tree who was looking at her, and he had lush green leaves, and he was so proud of his might. And that deep brown mountain, Arthi, that mountain was also looking at that river, who was moving very silently. She was shy. She wanted to escape. The big brown mountain and this green tree jeered at her, and they said, "You silly shy river, where are you running away? Why can't you just turn around and look at us? Look at our might. What are you shying away from?" And she thought, am I really shying? Am I really silly? And she just went and thought of how she was brought up. Brought up by her mother, who had really pampered her, who made her believe that she's the strongest. And today she was shying away from what? Thank you.
Wow. That gives so many perspectives in terms of what can be defined as so many things,
Yes.
How we sometimes, adjust ourselves, and sometimes how we are told to adjust, and then we think that maybe that is how it's going to be, until somebody comes and, gives us a push and says that. Yeah, so that was thought provoking, and I think the most interesting thing is कि वो इतनी जल्दी आपने बोला, it was so many things that you just put together in, I think, a minute. So that's so wonderful.
Thank you.
And I think you must start your podcast.
That I am not so
you must start publishing your videos.
Yes.
Ms. Kacker, this is wonderful.
Thank you
so much. This is
so
so beautiful. And I'm saying publish as in video, because the expressions are, I think, the most important when you're talking about stories.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Kacker, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. And I would end with my favorite line, Arthi, कि जिंदगी भर भूल यही करता रहा, धूल चेहरे पे थी, आईना साफ करता रहा. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
leaving you with this wonderful thought that Mrs. Kacker shared. लाइफ में ऐसी कितनी सारी चीज़ें होती हैं जो हम करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन हमें लगता है कि हम कर लेंगे जब सही वक्त आएगा, और सही वक्त होता है अब. So if there's something that you have planned for yourself, or if you've been thinking about something for a long time, I think it's time to do now. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of How's the Josh, and with a wonderful storyteller that we had, Mrs. Monica Kacker, her journey and her smiles. I think it was magnetic. I am enamored. Please join me on the next episode of How's the Josh. This is me, Arthi Karthik, saying keep the Josh high, and do comments, subscribe and like my channel. Thank you.